Okay, 9:01 Pacific. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Overwatch Imaging and our ASO 12.0 release webinar. My name is Greg Davis. I'm the founder and CEO of Overwatch Imaging, and I'm so excited to show off our latest and greatest software today. Overwatch Imaging is an intelligence technology company bringing sensor autonomy to time-critical search, detection, tracking, and monitoring missions. Our automated sensor operator, or ASO software, which is native to our own line of smart sensors and also available as an upgrade to third-party EOIR video systems, brings superhuman vision and workload reduction to missions that matter. ASO 12.0 is our latest and greatest release and delivers on our commitment to producing mission-ready sensor autonomy. In 12.0, you'll see a new user experience. You'll see advanced autonomy and AI features. The theme today is accelerating the mission and empowering the operator. And I feel like we've really delivered on this theme. We built this release around the idea that the sensor operator is the priority. And even though we're building autonomy software, we're always focusing on making the sensor operator's experience simpler and better. Because we have ASO deployed and operating around the world now, we're able to get lots and lots of user feedback. And in this release, we're able to incorporate a lot of that feedback into the features that we've released. ASO 12.0 is available today for both Overwatch Imaging smart sensors and also for upgrades to third-party EOIR gimbals. To our customers, please make sure you contact your customer success specialist or our help desk if you haven't already to get your copy of ASO 12.0 and get upgraded to our latest and greatest. Okay, with that preview out of the way, I'll now turn over the webinar to our Vice President, Matt Nugent, to walk through some of the features and benefits of our latest release. Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Greg. My name is Matt Nugent. I'm the VP of Product here at Overwatch. And for the next 40 minutes, I'm going to walk you through ASO 12.0. What's in it, why it's in it, and most importantly, what becomes possible because of it. We've got a jam-packed agenda here for you today. We're going to kick it off by introducing our no-touch mission, perhaps the most exciting feature of this release, and we'll get into what that means. And then, although 12.0 has many features, we're going to focus on 5 key areas that we think is going to make a huge impact to your overall mission success. Towards the end of the webinar, we're going to finish up our no-touch mission review and see how ASO did and look at all the deliverables that it was able to create. And lastly, we're going to finish up by looking to the future, where we can talk about our roadmap. 12.0 is just the beginning, and we've got lots more in store for the year. We can't wait to share that with you. We'll also leave some time for Q&A. So let's get into it. Okay, I wanted to talk briefly about 5 key feature areas that we're going to go over as part of this webinar. We're going to start by looking at our UI2. It's a brand new interface that we think is going to be very capable of enhancing your missions. Then we're going to look at the anchor behind the no-touch mission, the mission file, and what it's able to enable. We'll go into the middle by talking about our ASO bot, an LLM that we've trained on our manual and help desk documentation. And then we're going to focus on the handoff between ASO and the operator. We've made a lot of improvements to that handoff experience. We think it's going to be a lot more seamless. And then lastly, we're going to talk about our mosaics. Those familiar with our mosaics have long seen the impact of those, and now that impact can be felt in the app itself, and we can't wait to show that to you. Before we go into those features, I want to talk a little bit about the no-touch mission that we're going to do for you here today. So while I share with you those new features, a no-touch ISR mission is going to execute in the background. This is Operation Pacific Overwatch, a notional unit equipped with an MX-15 gimbal fitted with Overwatch's automated sensor operator, or ASO, is going to be mounted on a twin-engine plane and conduct a maritime awareness aerial surveillance mission in the waterway between a popular coastal area and island chain. In this AO are active oil platforms, heavy traffic by commercial ships, naval vessels, cruise ships, and pleasure craft, and a small private airfield on the largest island. We're really going to have ASO tackle 4 composite tasks for us as part of this no-touch mission. To start, we're going to go around the oil platforms where we're going to look for excessive oil seepage. We will use ASO's pollution detection feature to use light waves outside of the visible to see the spread of oil on the surface of the water. Next, several container ships have reported pleasure craft violating traffic separation schemes. We're going to use ASO's vessel identification capability to see if there are any pleasure craft that are navigating within restricted navigational channels. And lastly, we're going to finish up on the island. A private airfield on the largest island is suspected of allowing planes who are moving illicit goods into the U.S. We will use ASO's vehicle detection to better understand airfield usage, and we're also going to create a tactical map of the airfield and surrounding area to establish a baseline pattern of activity for the airport that we can compare with future imminent collection. So with that, I think Greg is going to play the role of our operator today and kick off our no-touch mission.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you, Matt. I challenged the team to make ASO so easy that even I could use it. And I feel like they really came through and delivered here. The team didn't want to risk it, so they just went ahead and made it so easy that the operator doesn't even have to do anything. So we're ready to get started. I'll just let the crew know that we're ready to get started. We've already imported the mission file, so the payload is ready to go. We're ready to collect all the intelligence we need. Okay, the mission is going.
Great. So while that's happening in the background, let's start with our impactful features that are part of this release. This is UI2. UI2 is ASO dressed up in a modern interface. This is like a sailboat that has become a battleship. Sure, they do similar things. They float, they move, but one has a lot more firepower. UI2 delivers sensor autonomy by leveraging sensor execution based on operator-defined tasks, in-app workflows organized around missions, and a contemporary user interface for today's operator. So with that, I'm going to open up UI2 and give you a brief tour so we can see that feature in action. Okay, great. I have UI2 open now. You'll see some of the areas that we've defined as part of this no-touch mission, and I'll briefly orient you around the app before we go into some specific features. In the top right-hand corner here are our action buttons, where the operator has easy access to things that they need to do fairly regularly, like stow or even flip over to hand controller. You can see our map tools on the right-hand side and all of our map geometry here. And then on our left-hand toolbar, we have some apps that are more dedicated to mission planning and reporting. And then we have our execution views that can oscillate between map, camera, or even a view focused around the things that are being detected. So with that, let's open up and see a couple features that are in UI2 that might be different from what you've had before in the application. So the very first thing you're going to notice is that there's a lot of geometry on the map here that I've used for planning and tasking ASO. So I could open up a new area in this map, and we have our areas screen. And that's going to show you every single geometry that's part of this application. So you can see easily that you can toggle between these different geometries. I can open it up and actually edit this in real time in a super simple way. And it makes super easy to get data downloaded out in different formats and also imported in. Most importantly, everything is now anchored into a specific spot, so you have access to your geometry for reuse later, and it can be shared with others very easily to share that kind of mission intelligence that you've built up over time. Speaking about our map, you can now see that we have a brand new map as part of UI2. With that, we have access to lots of different base maps, so I can see some different information layers that I didn't have access to before. And I'm going to flip back here to my dark mode because that's what I like using for my own personal view. But in addition to the information that's available in the map, we also have new ways of looking at this information in the map. So now I can actually toggle and look at an oblique view on the side of the map here. I can see more information than I was able to with just a top-down view. This is going to be particularly important later when we show off another feature, so I'll save that surprise for the end, but needless to say, the map is a lot more capable. All right, let's turn on a little rerun right now and actually look at some execution-based pieces. So we have three main views anchored in the application now, and we spent a lot of time looking at the map, but there are actually two others depending on what you want to emphasize in your mission. We have a new cameras view, and that's going to show you exactly what the camera is seeing. I can look at that in a single band if I want, or multiple. And I do have an inset map here at the bottom, but this is also very configurable in the application. So I can have just enough of what I want to see to really emphasize the part of my mission that I'm looking to focus on. In addition to that, we also have a view that's fairly dedicated on what the system is finding or our detection. So I can easily open up this object view, see these images that are being found in real time. I have an information overview right now, an inset map. I can see all the different takes of my application or the different pictures of that same object that are found. And then I even have a place where I can take notes, and that will make it really easy later for me to figure out what went on as part of the mission and do my final mission report. And last but not least, we have a brand new area called our missions area within the application itself. And that's going to have a lot more capability than we had in UI 1 by giving you a good overview of what's in the mission and give you quick access to all your data. So I can open up this mission here. I can see some summary level information about that mission. I can go down to the bottom and see all the tasks that I've assigned ASO with doing as part of this mission. And new in UI 2, I have access to all my deliverables and data right here without having to flip to a new URL or dig through folders. It's all at the surface and makes it easy for my mission report. And the last but not least goodie as part of this overall piece of the application is when we used to do our missions, we would record our screen recording, and we could easily kind of scrub back through that screen and figure out what happened as part of the mission. Now in UI 2, that's all embedded in the application, so I can speed things up really quickly. I can flip to another part of the mission and easily fast forward and rewind and really get a cursory glance of what happened as part of that mission. We think this was going to be super powerful and really accelerate the last part of the workflow, which is getting the data out and into the hands of your stakeholders. All right, let's flip back and just talk about the benefits that we believe are going to come with part of this UI 2 experience. So really, UI 2 is built around the mission. It's task first, it's not control first. The interface follows the work. Next, UI 2 is going to empower operators. It's a modern, clean, intuitive, and configurable interface that's going to suit changing mission needs. And really, this is our canvas for sensor autonomy. It is going to have the ability to unlock automation for the operator and make a huge impact. UI 2 is now out in beta. If you'd like to be part of our UI 2 beta program, please reach out to your program manager for more information.
Okay, so Matt, thanks. I mean, this is really impressive. This is a major upgrade for us, and it's been in work for some time. We've heard from operators that when the office is the back of an aircraft, when you're doing your data exploitation while the aircraft is maneuvering for next tasking, streamlining the workflow is really, really important. And so with UI 2, we've delivered on a simple user interface so that users can get all the tasks they need to get done accomplished with minimal clicking, minimal switching between different screens and different applications. Everything they need is right there in one app. So really, really nice work on UI 2. We're excited to see how this impacts our customers.
All right, now that we've talked a little bit about UI 2 and our no-touch mission, I want to talk about the anchor that really makes that all possible with our mission file. Inside UI 2, the unit of work has changed. It used to be a scan. You could set it up, fly it, and then you'd be done. And if you wanted to do it again next week, you had to set it up again. And if you wanted to have a colleague fly it, the same mission profile, they had to figure it out themselves. In 12.0, the unit of work is now the mission. It contains your geometries, your assigned tasks, your parameters, and really everything that the sensor needs to execute. Author it once, save it, share it, fly it again next month, or even next year, even hand it to a teammate flying out of a different airfield. That's the foundation of every no-touch mission. Let me show you how it works. So this is going to be one of the shortest demos we have for you today because it's just so darn easy to get your data into ASO. Now you can drag and drop those geometries straight into the window and they'll automatically be loaded into the system. So you can see I have all these areas that I've created to be scanned, plus any reference geometry. In addition to where, there's also the what that is loaded in. Each area has tasks associated with it that are loaded for ASO to do. Now ASO has everything it needs to execute the full mission. We really see this stacking up for different stakeholder groups. For the operator, this means they can author something once and reuse it multiple times. It also means that they aren't required to do as much or really any clicking as part of that mission. For the team, this means that you can build expertise. ASO is going to execute the mission the same way every time. As the mission is executed and refinements are made, this is now 100% documentable in the mission file, and the rest of the team can easily take advantage of these lessons. And lastly, for the mission, this functionality is really designed to shine amongst the constraints of today. With an operator doing less in ASO, this means that they can now do more for the mission. And this should allow you to scale operations without needing to scale headcount. So we're really excited about this mission file and what it's going to enable in terms of our no-touch missions, which we'll show you later in the presentation.
I love this feature. I'll tell you, so many times when I've visited with user groups and customers, we hear about the mythical best operator. There's always the best operator who gets assigned to the important missions. Like somehow you know when the important mission is going to happen, and somehow the best operator is always available right on that day and never needs crew rest when something important is happening. And then who are all the other operators? They are, are they not able to get the job done? So with no-touch mission, with mission as a file, we're able to bring the best sensor operator to every mission by packaging up the best features and the best capabilities that operator performs all into one file that's replayable and reusable day in, day out. So really nice job. And now everybody can be the best operator.
Okay, now we're in the middle of our program, and I wanted to talk briefly about our ASO bot. When we started 12.0, one of the consistent pieces of feedback that we heard from the operators was, this system is powerful, but it's a lot to learn. And when something happens mid-mission, I don't have time to dig through a manual. So we really looked to address that in two different ways as part of 12.0. The first is small but important. We embedded the entire user manual directly inside the application. The second is bigger. We built ASO Bot, an LLM trained on our manual and help desk that's there whenever you need it. So let's see how it works.
Looks like it's clearing up a little bit more by Catalina right now, so I'll have a few more options for boats and ships to get some footage of.
Well, as you can see here, they had an INS alignment alarm issue, and they're going to ask ASO Bot about what to do here. ASO Bot is going to tell them to maintain speed and perform some dynamic maneuvers. So let's try that out. Okay, great. ASO Bot was able to help the operator fix the issue and get going and continue the mission. So with ASO Bot, we really see three key benefits. One, you're going to get those answers at the edge. If you have an issue or question, there's something there with you at all times to help. Struggling outside of the US business hours or needing to wait to land to reach out to our help desk? Not anymore, as you have access to help where you need it the most. Next, with ASO Bot, you're going to get those answers in context. Each question comes with an answer and a direct link to our user manual, so you can verify anything ASO Bot is telling you. And lastly is a big one. At Overwatch, we have the absolute privilege of serving customers all over the world. Customers where English might not be their first language. ASO Bot can receive questions and give answers in different languages. Ask ASO Bot in the language that's most comfortable to you.
I love this, our very own chat bot. So yeah, as Matt said, when users need help, they need help right then. They don't need help, after they land, when they get access to a phone so they can call help desk. Embedding the chatbot is a first step in a powerful series of AI enabling features we're adding to ASO. And I think this is really going to help with users when they need the answer right away. They can just look it up in a very natural way and get the help they need right away.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about the interplay between AI and an operator. And that really manifests for us as we hand off to the hand controller and the operator between ASO activities and operator-led activities. So we really took a multi-step process of the handoff from ASO to the hand controller and now made it more seamless. So when you want to interrogate a vehicle detection made by ASO, the camera view is already zoomed in and tracking the target, and seamless handoff means greater operational focus on continuity and faster target identification. So let's see how it works real quick. So as you can see, ASO has found some ships quite far away and detected them, and the operator wants to get a better look and potentially look at some activity going on there. So we've handed it off to the operator, and you see a much higher fidelity picture that's really going to enable that next step for the operator. Let's talk about those benefits in the hand controller view and what we've done to make that better. First, that handoff is instant. You know that we have hotkeys that make it very easy, and it immediately breaks from scanning to ensure that operators don't miss a second. Next, zooming further out is what ASO needs to do to maximize coverage. But at the handoff, the operator needs the highest fidelity picture that they can get. ASO ensures that this is going to happen. And next, sometimes the image settings that ASO needs are not the same that the operator needs or wants. Now ASO maintains its own settings, but always restores the operator settings when passing back and forth. Now the handoff to AI has never been smoother.
Yeah, this is such a great feature because this really is human-machine teaming happening. We know that for crews to trust autonomous systems, they need to really feel confident that those autonomous systems can return back to human in the loop right when they need them to. And by doing that, by allowing operators to come back online and take control of their sensing systems, we see this will allow them to put more trust in the autonomous phases of the flight to use ASO to do all of the more time-consuming, more workflow, burdensome jobs, or the jobs where we need to find tiny targets that are unobservable by human eyes, but then the humans can reinsert themselves into the mission flow right whenever they're needed. So great example here of human-machine teaming happening and available now for our ASO customers.
The perfect pass. Doesn't get any better than that. All right. The last feature that we're going to go over for you today is our Mosaic, in-app Mosaic functionality. And if you're an Overwatch customer, you're probably familiar with our Mosaics. We make some of the fastest maps in the industry, so you really never miss a second. For a long time, to view our Mosaics, you were going to be required to download them out and view them in another application. But now we have the ability to load quick Mosaics, and you can even have them preload as soon as they're done processing right in the application. Reduce steps to actually use your imagery by staying in the app and viewing 3D imagery through your mission planning view, so you can focus on operational decisions and not image data processing. So let's see how that works real quick. So this is a quick one too. Now all of our products are directly available in the app. I can easily download them or just turn them on in the map. And we're going to use that kind of oblique map looking angle in our updated maps to really get a good view of this mosaic. So here with the airport, I can see there's a great level of fidelity here that's possible. I can see the topography, and all of that's available to me in the application without having to leave. Super simple, super quick. So our in-app mosaics, I think, benefit users in a couple key ways. First off, it's instant. As soon as the job is done processing, you can have it automatically loaded into the map, so you're not waiting for that data to show up. Next is it's seamless. Everyone knows that bouncing between multiple applications, which is definitely a common problem for operators, leads to reduced efficiency and context switching. Now, with the ability to have our mosaic stay in the application, we can have our operators stay in ASO and not have to bounce around and lose efficiency as part of their mission. And lastly, it's that instant feedback. You want to know after you've completed a task and collected your data that you're good to go and you're ready for the next task in the mission. Our in-app mosaics are going to give you the confidence that you can move on to that next step in the mission and that you have a good data product behind you that had just occurred in processing.
Yeah, this is great. They say, do it right or do it twice. But if you don't give operators a way to know if they've done it right, then they're sort of left guessing or left digging through folders while bouncing around in the back of an aircraft, trying to find the data product to ensure that they've captured and delivered the data product that the mission requires. Now this is all right there. So again, with basically no touches at all, sensor operators can confirm that they've got the data they need. The product is just right. They can actually provide feedback based on a visual observation of that mosaic right away to the rest of the crew, to the pilot, or to respond to things they're seeing right away. So yeah, really great to have this built into our workflow right in the ASO UI2 itself.
Okay, there's a lot more than that. I'll just go over them briefly. This release is chock full of additional functionality. We've got a new occlusion mask editor. We've done a lot of work on our drive sync and health alerts, so you have confidence your data is synchronizing to a drive you can just take when you land. We've got track views, AI model updates. We've got improved uptime displays, and we even track things outside of a geofence and make sure that we continue to track these detections even past the defined area. There's a lot more than this. Your program manager is going to have a complete list, but this release is sure to impress. All right, and we just got notification that our no-touch mission is complete. So let's look and review at the task that we asked ASO to do while we were doing this webinar. The very first thing we asked it to do is an environmental impact assessment, where we're going to look for pollution detection within a piece of ocean around some oil rigs. Next, as we were taxiing to an island, we looked in a popular waterway for pleasure craft just to see if any of those were getting into shipping lanes potentially. And lastly, we went to the island where we did some surveillance of an airport, looked for any vehicles that were in that general area, and even created a map that we could use for future intelligence. So as you can see, no simple task. This is a very composite mission of different things, and ASO executed that while we were sitting here with you today. So let's open up UI2 and see how it did. Okay, as you can see here, we have our 4 key areas that we asked ASO to focus on, and I will focus on the first task here, which was that oil detection. So I can use the new mission functionality within UI2 and easily find my data that just executed as part of this mission. And if I go down here into my data products, I can see we have a pollution detection data product that I'm going to look at right now. And on the map now are vectorized outlines of the oil on the water. So I can see ASO has really mapped that oil detection, and it's available for me in the application, or I can easily download it if I want and take it to my next step. The next thing that we asked ASO to focus on was a boat search here within a waterway, and we can see how ASO did. I'm going to open up detections here that are in this area, and you can see ASO has found a number of them here. So I can easily click on each one here and see some overview, some information about each object that it found, but it did all of the scanning and detection completely touchless. No operator involved in finding these objects, and I can easily survey them after the mission. So looks like it did a pretty good job on task 2. Check. Lastly, let's get over to the airport and see how it did. The first thing we asked it to do was create a map of this general area. So I can see in my data products layer here within the missions tab that I have some different quick mosaics, and I can turn that on and easily see this general area now. And the last thing we asked it to do here was look for some vehicles. So I'm going to go down to my detections here and see if I was able to have it detect any vehicles. It looks like it did. So let's just review what it found. And, oh, even in the shade here, it was able to pick up that truck as part of the airport here. It looks like there are some others here. So it did a very good job finding the different vehicles that are at the airport right here. So I have all my intelligence packaged up. As we were doing this webinar, ASO executed this mission, a composite mission. And I don't know if you're having your operators plan on moonlighting as potentially being able to do webinars on the side here, but I think that we've proven that that's a new possibility that wasn't available before. So other ways of making income if you want ASO by your side. Great. Let's pop over to the presentation and just finish it up here. Okay, I wanted to look forward at our roadmap just a bit with a common couple themes that we're going to be focusing on for the rest of the year. Again, 12.0 is just the beginning. We've got lots more planned for this year that we're really excited about. We're going to make our ASO bot even more capable by giving it different functionality around increased reporting efficiency, as well as being able to take natural language prompts like scan the coastline and have it interpret that and set exactly the right controls within the ASO interface. This will be a huge increase for efficiency for an operator and reduce the burden of having to train. We're going to make our system more open by allowing users to feed their own imagery into ASO to further refine our models with our few shot detection. And towards the end of the year, we're even going to allow operators to bring their own models into the ASO system. And lastly, we keep focusing on the quality of our imagery. We're going to make that even better by putting video into the application. We're having super resolution to enhance the clarity of our chips and potentially even create a seamless mosaic product. So lots more planned for this year. We hope you join future webinars where we'll be able to go over those details later this year. Just a couple plugs before we open it up for questions. 12.0 is available now. Please reach out to your program manager to get hooked up. UI2 is available in beta, so if you'd like to be part of our beta program, please reach out to your program manager for that as well. With that, I think we can open it up to see if we have any questions.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I mean, this is such a great release. I'm proud of this, that we are delivering sensor autonomy. This is what sensor autonomy looks like. And while I think there's a lot of talk in the industry about trying to bring AI, trying to bring autonomy into operations, we're out there leading the way and really doing it in real world missions. So great job with this release. Can't wait for our customers to start using this and delivering great feedback on how we can improve from here.
Great. I think with that, we will open it up to see if there are any questions.
We do have some questions in the chat. One question from Richard: can the mission be downloaded and replayed at a ground station for mission debrief or training from an aircraft equipped with a data link, and the mission be seen in real time by a ground station?
We do have a functionality called ASO Remote Operator that does allow for a user to see things in real time from a ground station. We also offer a sim trainer unit that we have that allows users to not have to be in the airplane or on ground power to be able to replay the missions that are collected as part of ASO. So multi-part answer to that question, but different ways of approaching that. But the short answer is yes.
All right, another question. Is the system able to switch from MV for interrogation?
Yeah. So that's really what this handoff to hand controller mode is toggling back and forth between our ASO sensor autonomy and the sort of old-fashioned human in the loop standard FMV, where an operator is manually steering the gimbal and just looking at a video feed directly. So yes, that's an instant handoff with one click on the hand controller, one click on a hotkey. Yeah, super easy to switch back and forth between ASO mode and manual mode.
All right, we have another question from Mateo. With ASO 12.0, what would your first steps be if you were to plan a no-touch mission for hotspot direct detection? The deliverables needed are hotspot point locations and contour lines 3D view.
The first step I would do would be to define an area where you're going to look for those hotspots by drawing or uploading geometry for that, or setting that into wide area scanning mode if the area is not known and you just want to look in front of the airplane. The next thing I would do is assign the correct task that is going to generate those products to the geometry itself. And then once the airplane gets close enough or starts scanning, it will produce those deliverables as part of the no-touch mission.
Jordan is now asking, what kind of language training was done for ASO bot? How are you ensuring the translations it gives operators is correct or at least accurate enough?
So yeah, that's an important distinction about our ASO bot. ASO bot is using foundational LLMs, so they are as good as what the industry gets in terms of an LLM. What we did was we trained up those LLMs on our specific subject material, our user manual and our help desk, and all the inquiries we get to our help desk. And that's provided as a context prompt as part of the LLM. So the short answer is the language translation is as good as they're going to get with those foundational LLMs. We didn't train it to do that part. What we did train it to do was to understand our documentation, and then the LLM piece of that is going to translate that based on kind of industry standards that we currently have. So we think it works pretty well, but very open to feedback on that.
All right, we have another question. How do you envision the role of the operator evolving over the next several years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question and part of a whole revolution that's going on in intelligence technology and defense tech right now. We see sensor operators evolving more into mission leaders, mission commanders, intelligence analysts, because we're taking away a lot of the manual routine taskings that are part of that sensor operator workflow. Now they can spend more time doing a higher level decision-making tasks. So we talk about this as giving time back to the crew, giving time back to the sensor operator so they can think more about how to best respond to the intelligence that they're seeing, rather than spending all of their kind of mental energy on just executing the data collection or just looking for a needle in a haystack. So we see sensor operators are going to become an even more important part of the intelligence process because they can move up to executing higher level tasks like decision making and response. There's another piece that ASO enables, and hopefully you've seen this throughout the presentation today, that as sensing and sense making scales up because the demand to find smaller targets over larger areas continues to increase, ASO enables single sensor operators to manage multiple sensors at a time. So as we think about crews that are augmented with autonomous systems, as we think about systems that have multiple sensors on them, we're enabling that sensor increase to happen without needing to increase the amount of sensor operators that we put into unsafe locations, without having to increase the number of people that go into theater. So so scaling up sensing is one big thing we enable here. And so sensor operators becoming an overseer of multiple systems and an overseer of response actions.
We have another question from David. Is the LLM hosted locally or does it need an internet connection?
So this is just the first step in this journey. The current version of it works with online access only. We are working for something later this year that will work locally, but in version 1, you will need online access to be able to access the LLM.
Looking beyond today's releases, where do you see AI having the biggest impact?
I mean, I think AI is really revolutionizing the intelligence process, the intelligence industry, and I see that's those changes are just starting to take shape. I think autonomous systems, uncrewed air vehicles and uncrewed surface vehicles have been in use for 30 years now or more, and are beginning to really see more sort of scaled up effects thanks to incorporating AI into how those systems are managed. I think we can keep putting more and more AI into the two pillars where we see AI bringing value to every mission. That's superhuman vision, and that's a workload reduction. So we need to keep working on both those pillars to allow crews to find more of what they're looking for, even as those needles get harder to find and the haystacks get bigger. We always need to empower our teams to find the needle in the haystack. And so AI will play an increasingly big role in that aspect of a mission. And then on the workload reduction side, there's lots of steps that we're seeing in office life, in daily life, where AI is reducing the workflow, which allows people in all taskings to accomplish more in the same amount of time. So we see continuing that kind of evolution with our product, continuing to reduce the operator workload so that operators can just tell the sensor what outcome they want it to produce, and the sensor will work like a teammate using its AI capability to deliver the desired outcomes.
How does this change mission planning?
I think this puts more upfront into the planning stage that's possible. Prior to this, we had a series of things that you could plan, but there were still button clicks and different pieces of the interface that were required to be used during the execution of the mission. Now we kind of bundled that to the front of the process, so that allows the mission to execute without a touch being required. So that might be more to define up front, what product do I want, what format do I want it in, where do I want it to be collected from. All those things can be embedded in the mission planning part, but we think that will allow, when the times get stressful and rough, the mission execution to be even smoother. So we see potentially more opportunity to do more extensive planning up front, but what that hopefully means is that the execution is smooth and easy, and potentially requires very little of a person's time or attention to potentially execute the mission.
Excellent. How accessible is the data generated by the ASO system, and what is the workflows to export important detections for reporting?
It's much easier in UI2 to do this process. All of the data is now surfaced in the front of the application, so I can see every product that ASO created as part of each mission, and there's really two options. There is load to map or download. And I can do that straight from the application. I don't have to open up a data folder. I don't have to look around for data. So all of those things are in there. There is another folder called important detections where all of the important detections live as well within the products. So it's easy. There's no URL to remember, and it's all at the surface level. So we think it's going to be much easier to get the data in and out of the system. That's a piece of feedback we've had for a while, and we're excited to see that improvement as part of the release 12.0.
Excellent. Is ASO 12.0 compatible with all Overwatch imaging sensors? We have a TK8 for hotspot detection. Are some sensors more suited for ASO 12.0?
ASO 12.0 is been tested on our complete sensor stack, so 12.0 does work for your missions. Obviously, the semantics of flying change a bit when you have a fixed focal plane sensor versus something that's zoomable, and we maintain both those series of sensors, so that impacts your mission planning. But ASO 12.0 has been tested for the entire sensor stack that we offer here. UI2 is in beta and also is the same, but we are excited to potentially have users test UI2 on their sensors as well and give us that feedback. We're looking to quickly iterate with customers on that functionality. So I would say the best way to find out is to try it and let us know.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today for the ASO 12.0 release webinar. I'm really excited about this release. Can't wait to get user feedback. So again, please contact Overwatch, get in touch with our help desk, get in touch with your customer success specialist, and we'll get you this software updated and installed. Overwatch Imaging really stands for making an impact in missions that matter, and the features that we're delivering here make that simpler than ever, using our software to deliver results for important missions. So great work to the Overwatch team. Thank you to the customers who support us by turning this technology into great operational outcomes. That's all for today.